Shalom, everybody. Rabbi Edelstein back again. I missed you with another edition of Rabbi Ian 3, brought to you as always by Emor DC. MERDC.com is our website, or find us on Facebook. I'm sorry I was gone for a couple of weeks. It's the end of the semester, and we in Emor DC are busy working with wonderful Jewish students around town, so I was not able to do it. I apologize. You might not have missed it. I certainly hope that some of you watch these sometimes, or if you watch it every week or sometimes and you enjoy it. I hope you weren't heartbroken that you didn't have it for 2 weeks. I'm very upset I couldn't connect with you. I'm glad to be back. Great to be back. Okay, Rabbi Ian 3. But first we have some business. And that is that my great colleague on campus, Dr. Josh Hollander, came up with an idea several months ago of a learning project. We divide the whole Torah, all the Torah portions, among different students who volunteer to read, study one Torah portion, and then write a very short Torah thought, or the original thought about that Torah portion. And we divided up among over 50 students. An incredible thing. People in New York, people in D.C. And then we celebrated, we've already done this, we've celebrated the completion of this study. That's called a siyum. Siyum means completion, and there's always a party, or often a party associated with the completion of a unit of study. So we've had incredible parties in D.C. and New York to celebrate this siyum. It's a wonderful idea Dr. Josh had of bringing people together in a learning project. And I want to read right now dedications, because many of you generously dedicated to help us print up. We're going to print up the little essays that all the students wrote in a booklet, and many of you took the opportunity generously to dedicate either one Torah portion of the printing or a whole book of the Torah. I want to read these names too. These are people who sponsored, again, one parsha or one book of the Torah, and so Martin and Michelle Swartz dedicated a parsha in memory of Paul S. Swartz. David Brodsky dedicated a parsha. Deborah and Philip Edelstein dedicated a parsha. Eugene Hollander dedicated a parsha in memory of Dr. Milton Bregman. Marcy Maneker Leiter dedicated a parsha in memory of Mandy's Zeta Art Maneker. Mandy was one of our students, Mandy Leiter. Charles Garfunkel dedicated a parsha. Jamie and Larry Simons, a parsha in memory of Sheldon Feinberg. Cindy Cohen, a parsha in honor of Ilana Cohen's Peace Corps service. Noreen and Marvin Pfeffer, a parsha in honor of their granddaughter, Gracie Goldberg. Peter Friedman and Beth Liebman, a parsha in honor of Rebecca Friedman. Dan and Miriam Berman, a parsha in honor of the wedding of Jeremy Davis and Betty Schneck. I hope I said that right. Jerry and Sonny Herzenberg. The whole book of Vayikra, the book of Leviticus, they dedicated in honor of their beautiful grandchildren. Gregory and Leah Esther Snyder dedicated the whole book of Exodus, Shemos, in honor of our sons, Ezra, Mer, and Moshe. And Chaim and Rivka Goldstein dedicated the book of Bereshis, Genesis, in honor of Meor DC. Wow. Beautiful. Many of those people are parents of our students, either present or past, and others are just friends of Meor and supporters of Meor. Thank you all. It's incredible. It's yet another beautiful aspect of this wonderful project we've done of learning and doing a siyum, a completion of the learning, that many parents and many people were able to contribute to that. And, I guess you can find out details from our website, maybe, or from our Facebook page, I guess, about if you want to get a copy of the booklet of the Torah essays that the students will be writing, or have written already. We're compiling it right now. Well, I'll try to get back to you about that. Okay, now, that's all business. I got to say something Rabbi Ian 3-ish, right? Got to say a little Torah or something, a little inspiration, I hope. Okay. We've talked about this period of time in the Jewish calendar between Passover and Shavuos, a time of purification, a time of working on our character traits in preparation for Shavuos. It's funny. It's interesting. Nothing's coincidental. We read the Torah portion this Shabbat. We're about 3 weeks from Shavuot, from Shavuos, the commemoration of getting the Torah. And we're in the middle of this period called Counting the Omer, the preparation period between Passover and Shavuos. But it's in this week's Torah portion, we read on Shabbat, Emor, in the book of Leviticus, that it actually talks about the laws of this Omer period. And I'm going to mention something that happened in the temple around this time. Okay? It says, on the second day, the second day of Passover, we brought in ancient times something called the Omer. It was an offering in the temple. And then the Torah says we had to count 7 full weeks, 49 days, complete 7 weeks, and then the 50th day bring Mincha Chadasha, a new offering in the temple. And the details of these offerings are the Omer, the one brought at the beginning of the process on the second day of Passover, was a barley offering, right, from the new barley in the fields. And on the 50th day, Shavuos, it was a wheat offering. Great. You're saying, Rabbi, I wonder what is this like, food pyramid class, Whole Foods, okay, no. Well, nothing wrong with that. But these offerings had a symbolic meaning, as the commentaries tell us. Barley, the Talmud says, is animal food. Yeah, there's barley soup and there's good stuff, but it's associated with animal food, the sages tell us, whereas wheat is human food. At the beginning of the process of this period, we have to realize that, and remember, the original generation that left Egypt and were on their way to Mount Sinai to get the Torah had been in spiritual bondage and physical bondage, as we know, and Passover is a celebration of obviously the exodus from that. But we were not fully actualizing our human potential. And that first generation had to elevate themselves in order to be ready and fitting vessels, that's the word, vessels, to receive the Torah. They had to move, and we have to move every year from Behema, animal, to Adam, to mankind. In other words, to be working all the time, but in this period of time especially, on getting control over our lower impulses, our animal nature, if you will. Why? In order to be ready to be a human being, because the Torah is not given to animals. The Torah is given to human beings, people who are in control. No one's perfect, but who are, and certainly not me, but we didn't have to reach perfection to get the Torah, but we had to be in control and elevated above our lower selves. That's the meaning of this time, the counting of the Omer, the 7 weeks. We're going from barley to wheat, from the animal level to the human level, and then we're crowned with the level of Torah, with the level of spiritual connection to God, which is exactly what the Torah is, with all its beautiful guidelines and its beautiful mitzvot. Have a wonderful, wonderful Shabbat. It's good to be back. Sorry it went late, but I look forward to being back on track. Bye-bye. Good Shabbos.